Right, so we're here at the lovely Ivy House Lakes Thursday Open match. I've drawn 22 on Heron Lake. It's all on Heron Lake today. So the conditions are fairly decent. There's a little bit of wind, but it's coming like off my right hand shoulder, which is fine. Sun's out. It's going a bit cloudy. It's a bit moody. It ain't actually that warm at all, to be fair. There's one just top there. But I think the fishing could be good. I mean, £90 one near the weekend and 50, 60, £70 been pretty consistent, but I reckon it might be a little bit better today. The problem I've got here today is that I haven't been coming, so I don't actually know what's going to be good, what's going to be right. So my general approach today is I'm going to start off short on hard pellets. I've got a hard pellet line, long. I've got some edges where I'm going to throw live maggots. But the one spanner in the works, which I don't know is going to be right or not, is maggot shallow. I mean, if it's right, then you're going to catch a big weight doing it, because once they come shallow, they'll be big and you'll be able to catch them quickly. But I don't know if it's going to work. Apparently, all the lads have said shallow hasn't been right recently, but I don't know if they do it with maggots. So I don't know, but I think I'm going to start off on hard pellets. I'm going to throw some maggots in the edge, and I've got a hard pellet line. That's how I'm going to start. But at some point I might start loose feeding maggots at like 11 metres and see if I can catch shallow. I have got a feeder rod set up, but I don't really want to do that. I just want to come and fish a pole and have a nice day's fishing. So yeah, peg 22, Heron Lake. It's the 4th of April. So yeah, we'll give it a go. What I'll do, I'll start another video just as the match starts, so you can check out what sort of start I have. Hopefully I'll drop in on hard pellets and get some bites, and so you can see me catching fish fairly quickly. But it's my first time filming a video for you guys on YouTube, so I'm not the most savvy with tech. I don't even know if this mic's on. So just bear with me. It might not be the greatest, this one, but hopefully you'll get a little view in on what I catch and how I've done it and how I get on. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Right, so that's all in. I'm going to start just by plopping in a little ball ground bait on both edge lines. So I've plumbed up a little bit away from the blank. And I'll just pop in a little ball ground bait and I'll throw some maggots. Not loads, just to get going, because I think that's probably going to be better later on. But I'm going to do it on both edges. I only wanted to do it on one edge, which was to my left. But the toe's coming back towards me, so I don't want my float coming in back at me. So I'm just going to feed down. Right. And I'm going to start short on hard pellets. I'm going to cup in some 4mm fishery pellets and fish a 6 on the hook. Just dip those pellets, make sure they're sinking nice. We're good to go. There's not really much of a shelf here on Heron Lake. It's fairly flat. So I'm just going to tap these pellets in from about a foot off the water, make some noise. See if we can drag some fish in our peg. Yeah, it's towing quite hard. We had quite a bit of wind through the night and quite a bit of wind this morning. So there's no surprise that it's backing up. It's going left to right, which is fine. Quite a decent back shot on, so you can just hold your float against your back shot on it, just hold your float nice and still. Looks like most people are starting short. There's an odd person started on a feeder. But I'll be amazed if we don't get some bites here. But the water is still in fairly cold. We are really still in winter mode. So we might not get some bites. It might be a case of having to go long with pellets, catch what you can, or even a method feeder, catch what you can. And then look to catch short or in the edges or shallow late. Nice thing is when you're fishing with a big back shot and it's towing like this, you can just drop that back shot just underneath the water and it submerges all the line between the back shot and your float, and it just keeps your float at a lovely angle. Oh, little indication there. That was ever such a delicate bite, that. I think it's only a small fish. Oh, little carp. Not a bad start. I'll just give that one about a pound. It might be a touch bigger. So it's not a bad start. Hopefully once you've got one on this line, you might get a few more bites. So we'll do exactly the same again. We'll just repeat that process. We'll just tap in some pellets. The fishery pellets here at Ivy are scretins, so you have to dunk them to get them to sink, because they'll just pop up in that surface tension otherwise. So I'm just going to tap them in from about 18 inches a foot off the water, just to make some noise, a little bit of an area as well, and just see if we can hook another one on this line. Just going to throw a few maggots as well on that edge line to my left. A little indication. Quick little bite that. But it's a good sign now. We've gone in, we've had one, missed a bite. Most people have gone in and hooked a fish or two. Oh, just nicked something then. And you felt like a small fish. It might have been a small F1 or a skimmer. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to feed again, just because we had a decent response from that feed. So a few more pellets, see if we can get a few more fish in the peck. Nice little indication. Comes straight to the noise. Oh, it's popped off again. Only a very small fish there, that. Feed again. Guy up to my right's gone straight out on a long pole and had two better fish. It's a good sign, because we've still got that long pole line to come. There's decent carp he had then. There we go, there. Slightly better indication that. Feels like a lot better fish. Might stop this video. I think that was probably just foul up that. So what we'll do, we'll just tap these pellets in from a little bit less height. Indication straight away there from the noise of those pellets coming in. There we go, that's better. The only thing I will say is I can tell these fish, they're coming to the noise of these pellets going in. I reckon straight away, by just seeing what I've seen here, there's a very good chance to catch shallow today because they're coming up off the bottom after the pellets. Another little carp. What I'll do, I'll just catch one more bit of luck, just fishing like this, and then I will carry on doing this. And then I'll fill you in probably after about an hour, hour and a half. Oh, there's a little indication straight away. These fish are coming to these pellets straight away. I reckon definitely catch shallow to here. By how quickly they're responding to these pellets make me think that they're going to be feeding aggressively enough to come up. It's just whether they'll eat maggots when they come up. I would have thought they will. Yeah, like I was saying, probably I'll catch one more like this, and then I'll click record again on like an hour, hour and a half, and I'll let you know exactly what's going on. But straight away I've caught a couple of fish on pellets. I can see how they're coming, how they're reacting to the noise of these pellets coming, so straight away I'm thinking at some point today I'm going to start loose feeding maggots and try and catch shallow. There we go, look. Coming straight to that bait now. Slightly better one, I thought I was going to have him then. Well, there you go, decent start to the match. I lost a couple, but that's pretty normal for hard pellets. Seems to settling down a touch now, so I'll see you in about an hour. About an hour in. I caught quite well short on those pellets. I think I had £25 on it, which for the stamp of fish you were catching wasn't bad at all. I went in down the edge where I'd been loose feeding maggots, went in on the bottom and I got gudgeoned out. Just kept hooking gudgeon. I did hook 2 decent F1s, but I did get a couple of line bites, so I came up shallow in the edge and I started catching F1s. I'm just loose feeding maggots, and I've had a couple of swirls there as well, so they are coming in quite shallow. I started off on my little 3B8 winter maggie there, like 2 foot deep. It's about 3 foot where I'm fishing, but I started off at 2 foot with that winter maggie, and I think I caught 2, but both of them were on the drop, so it's sort of saying to me that the fish was shallower than what I was fishing. So I've just picked up my dibber for rig now, which I had set at about 10 inches, but I haven't had a bite yet. So what I'll do, I'll give this another few seconds. If I don't get a bite, I'll go back on my little 3WR Winter Maggie, 80, like 20 inches deep, and I'll just keep see if I can catch at that depth. Yeah, this depth might not be right. That's set at about 10 inches, but it might not be warm enough for that. So I'll go back on my Winter Maggie and see if I can catch a few shallow in the edge for you on the camera. I'm quite surprised, to be honest, because I thought I'd go in where I was loose feeding maggots and catch on the bottom, but it didn't seem right. I was catching little gudgeon, I was getting a few indications shallow, fish off the bottom. So I went in on this rig and I did catch 2 or 3 really quickly. A few little indications there. That deeper depth definitely seems better. Just gonna keep dinking a few maggots in. Let it swirl there. So they're definitely coming up off the bottom. That's one thing for sure. Another swirl. There we go. Oh, that was foul. Look, that one. I might just jump back on that dibber because I think what happened, I got up off my box to start the camera and I stopped feeding. So when I dropped back in on that dibber, I think they sort of moved off. But now I'm back on the box feeding. I reckon that dibber could be a good shout. But it's a great sign though, catching shallow in the edge. That's how to catch the biggest weights for sure. So that was a bite straight away on that dibber, 10 inches deep. Seems like the fish is shallower than that RW Winter Maggie that I got set at 20 inches, but they don't seem to be quite as shallow as I got my dibber. They're probably sat around 14, 16 inches. So what I'll do, I'll get that RW Winter Maggie and I'll just shallow it down a touch. Yes, that dibber definitely doesn't seem right. But what I have done as well, since I've started catching shallow in the edge, I've started loose feeding some maggots long as well. Because if I'm catching shallow in the edge, I'm sure there'll be some fish shallow out there. There we go. See, that's unbelievable. Just that slightly bigger depth, like that 20 inches. I actually saw one come up in my bait then as well. But when I got that dibber set there, I can't catch them for some reason. Decent F1. I'm sure, by the looks of things, maggots are going to be the bait today, because that hard pellet line soon died off. And I've come in this edge and you can tell the fish are feeding straight away. Throwing maggots and they're coming up, they're swirling. There we go. That rig is so much better. It's almost like if it goes past them, they'll have it. But if it's just sat there, they won't eat it. It's really weird. Great fishing though, it's unbelievable. These F1s are definitely a bit bigger than last year when I last fished it. I think now, if I keep feeding these maggots in the edge and keep working really hard, keep feeding my maggots out there the catapult, if I've got enough maggots, because I haven't bought that many, if I can just keep swapping between those lines fishing shallow, might have a decent day here. Bite straight away on that drop. Oh, another bite. Oh. But I could tell straight away when I was feeding those pellets short that the fish were feeding really aggressively. You could see how quickly they were coming to the noise. That's what made me think that I'd catch shallow today. I think that was just a small fish, that. It's not the best of signs. It's probably not quite warm enough to catch consistently down there shallow. Might be better out, but it's a great sign that we've gone in the edge and caught shallow. Yeah, a bit deeper. There was a swirl down there as I was playing this one. So we'll keep those maggots going in. But I do think probably this line's got a lifespan. That out there, 10, 11 metres, is probably going to be the better line. So nice, laid that rig in. It was just settling really, really slowly. And then, so good. Right, so that's I think it's 3 or 4 fish we've caught in the edge shallow for you now. So I'm just going to catch one more for you if I can, and then I'll give you another update when this dies. Oh, that was very shallow. I lifted my rig up to come in, and it was I hooked one a lot shallower than the depth we're fishing, so I'll just shallow it back down again and have another go. Just try and catch you one more. There we go. Just constantly changing your depth, really important. Right, so what I'll do, I'll finish on that one. And then I'll give you another update in an hour or so, when hopefully might be emptying it long shallow. Right, so we had a decent little run in the edge shallow, but the problem was they kept coming and going. You'd go in, you get two quite quickly, and they'd just be gone again. So I thought the whole time I was fishing down there, I was feeding maggots shallow, long, and to be fair, I've gone out and it's been brilliant. I've caught fed, not quick, like not bagging, but most times you come in with one, and they're all decent fish as well. They're none of those little things. Getting quick, but it's good, you know, like I'm getting consistent bites. And when I've gone long, even if you're not getting many bites, it just seems best to just fish like 10 inches deep. Because when they do come in your peg, they come in really shallow. There's one there. They're not, you can tell they want to be off the bottom, they want to be shallow, but they're not. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a lovely little bite that was. I just flicked it over and I just held the line dead tight between the float and the pole tip. And I just felt it on the end of my pole. Don't. Everyone's big as well. So nice, such good fishing here. Don't have to bladder the bait in either. I've only had a pint so far. I think I've brought like 4 pints. I think that's easily going to be enough. It's not proper summertime yet, is it? So look at the size of that one. Ooh. Another decent F1. The only thing I'll say is that all the fish I'm catching are F1s. I'm not catching any carp, which is not concerning because I'm catching well. I've got, what have I got? I've got 55 pound now, and they're in that long gone. So we're on our way for a decent weight. And the nice thing is, I feel like if this line goes, if I still keep working really hard feeding maggots in my edge line, I'm still going to have that dropping on. So I've got 2 lines now where I feel like I can catch fish, which is the perfect situation really. There we go. Another quick bite. Again, I just flicked it over and I held that number 8 back shot like 2 inches above the float. And just held it there, just with the float in the water, and don't, and just feed it on the end of your pole. That one don't feel quite right. It might be foul. Look, I'm only fishing 10 inches deep, but it just shows you how shallow they're coming into my peg. Yeah, it's foul. It didn't feel quite right, that. That's fine. It's just part and parcel of fishing shallow. The rules here at Ivy, you can't fish overshotted rigs, and you can't fish a jigger either. No jiggers and no overshotted rigs. So, oh, look at that! Just slapped it over them before feeding, and I caught one, which will reduce the weight you catch, because I feel like in this situation now, if I was to fish an overshotted rig, I'd just catch one every single shot without fail. But it does teach you to fish properly. It teaches you to keep your line tight between your pole tip and your float. Ah, beautiful. It teaches you to, you've got to feed, when you're fishing like this and you're trying to hit the bites, it's even more important to get your feeding accurate and try and condense the fish as much as possible. So, best rig on this at the moment is RW1 little dibber, 2 number 11s, 10 inches deep, 1 number 8 back shot with about 20 inches of line above the float, which is quite important, I think. Oh. Just feel like if I was to go out now fishing 10 inches deep with like 4 inches of line to the float, I just don't think I'd get anywhere near as many bites. They are quite switched on, the fish in here, and if you start putting your pole tip right near the water, I just don't feel like it'd be right. I will try it though, at some point. If I get a problem with missed bites. To be fair, I'm not really missing any bites. As long as I'm holding my line fairly tight, I'm not really missing many bites. Oh, saying that, I just missed one. It's a curse of saying I've not missed bites. I just missed 3 in a row then. Bit of a weird cast this. Had a bite immediately as soon as I went out, then I've missed 2 or 3 bites. Weird. That's what I mean, see, they are shallow. I feel like shallow's going to be the way to catch the biggest weight today, but they're really not easy to catch. They're a bit sporadical. They come in some chucks they don't. See, I feel like now they've just dropped down a touch in depth. So what I'll do, just feed them, quickly come in, pick that RW Maggie up, and go in at like 18 inches. Just see if I can nick one before going back on that rig. Because I'm sure when they do come in properly, 8, 10, 12 inches is going to be the best depth. They're really clever, the fish in here. They know that you can't fish any more than 8 inches. The minimum you can fish is 8 inches deep. So I think the fish know that, and they come in at like 4 or 5 inches. There we go. some indication straight away. Just dropped down to 18 inches and caught, had 2 bites straight away. There we go. When the fish are feeding like they are today, where they're not yet properly in summer mode, it's so important to change your depth. Just have 2 rigs ready, just ship in real quickly, pop in your 18-inch rig and get back out there. But I do think that shallower depth today is going to be the one. I better get one now straight away as soon as I go out. Well, it's gone a little bit funny, that line though. But I did catch 2 or 3 there for you to show you the importance of changing your depth. But it is going a little bit funny out there. When it was good a minute ago, every one was like knocking the end of the pole, or like that. Moaned that one in, didn't I? That was a dead ship special, that. Right, what I'll do, I'll try and get this one in. I'll catch one more out there, and then I've got a feeling it's gonna need a rest. So I think that edge line could be really good. Actually, gonna shallow off to exactly 8 inches. Just see if I can catch him at that depth. See, they're in my peg, they're so clever. Like, I'm fishing 8 inches deep. Oh, there we go. Fishing like 8 inches deep, but they were definitely in my peg. Shallower then. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to catch you one more, fingers crossed, because I feel like when I go out now I'm going to get a bite, and then I'll give you an update as soon as something happens. Either this line goes a bit funny and we've got to go in that edge. I want to catch him in that edge really, because it's so nice catching shallow short, because you can just see everything that's going on. When you're fishing long you can't see as... Oh, there we go. See, I knew I'd get one there. That 8 inches is the depth, I'm sure of it. I spoke to Mikey Williams before I come, and he fished a qualifier on here, and he caught 8 inches deep and never saw one swirl all day. So I'll get this one in and then I'll give you an update. Right, so we're up to £60 as well. So I think £100's been good on this lake, so we're well on our way for that sort of weight. Fingers crossed if we can catch for the whole 5 hours. Probably I would say 150's on the cards, but you never know what could happen. Right guys, sorry I couldn't give you any updates past 2.5 hours in. The heavens have absolutely opened and it is absolutely peed down for the last 3 hours. I'm so grateful, but I think you saw me catching a few fish shallow in the edge and a few fish shallow long. I had £25 short on pellets, and then to be honest, for the rest of the match, the rest of the 4 hours, I've just rotated between shallow long and shallow in the edge. The best rig by a mile, which I should have picked up already, was a 3x8 winter Maggie, 17 inches deep, 18 inches deep, 8-inch line to the float. Pretty simple rig to be honest. 3 number 11 below the float, 1 number 8 above it, just holding the line dead straight. And yeah, that's been the best rig by a mile. I've used the same rig on both lines. I've used that rig in the edge and used that rig shallow. I've ended up with 176, which is lucky enough one on the day. So it's been brilliant. Fed like 5 pints of maggots. You didn't have to feed loads of bait. You didn't have to like bladder it in like you do in the summer. Just like 15 maggots. It's perfect. So it's been amazing. This lake is phenomenal. I can't believe how good it is. It's probably the best lake, one of the best lakes in the country. It's absolutely phenomenal. The fish are immaculate. They're just the perfect size at the moment. So yeah, it's been an absolutely brilliant day. I can't believe more people don't come and take advantage of it, to be honest, but I am blessed to have this 45 minutes from home, so you will definitely be seeing me again here, Heron Lake, Ivy House, 4th of April. Thanks very much for watching.